My name is Dr. Hardy. I have a PhD in Applied Cognitive Science from a Research One University, and this is day 2 of teaching you about research. Today we're talking about research questions. So when you write a research question, one of the most important things is that you are very specific about what you want to learn. So for example, you could have a question, does social media affect behavior? Well, you have a couple things here now. How do you define social media? What does that mean? How do you define behavior? What does that mean? Does it mean being angry? Does it mean being happy? Does it mean cleaning your car every day? Like, you have to be very specific, because if you're not specific, you can't determine how you're going to measure it. So it's important to clarify what the variables are. So in this case, if social media is the variable of interest, that's going to be our independent variable. We're going to say, if we measure social media, it could be based on how much time you spend watching or using social media. It could be the specific platforms that you engage with. So there's different ways to say specifically, this is how we are going to determine what is social media. On the other side, if we say behavior, we can add a layer of specificity by looking at specific types of behavior. So an instance that we could use here is relationship behavior. And how does social media use affect parent-child behavior, or parent-child relationships would be a way of saying something very specific that you could learn. So there might have already been a question of, does social media affect relationships? And I'm sure that there is. So we're adding a level of specificity by saying parent-child relationships. So we're going to define what is a parent in this case. We're going to define what is a child in this case. And then we're also going to define how we intend to measure social media. So those are all the things that help make a research question specific.